down under strict social distancing measures to combat coronavirus. Centrelink overwhelmed by a country in crisis. Thousands queue for support while a government website crashes. Parents left confused over education policies and where social distancing leaves schools. And the NRL relents and agrees to postpone its season, while the Tokyo Olympics is also expected to be delayed. Hello and welcome to ABC News. I'm Andrew Gagan. Thanks for joining us. There have been more scenes today that would have been hard to imagine before the coronavirus crisis began. Long queues have formed outside Centrelink branches across the country as people lose their jobs and seek help from the government. At midday, businesses including pubs, clubs, cinemas and gyms closed, and cafes and restaurants became takeaway venues only. Schools in Victoria and the ACT have also shut down and won't reopen until next term. Schools in all other states in the Northern Territory remain open. As well as the queues at Centrelink, the MyGov website has crashed. The share market has lost another $100 billion, with banks and industrial companies among the biggest decliners. In the words of the Prime Minister, for many Australians, it's all becoming the toughest year of our lives.
They're like scenes from the Great Depression. Block after block and around corners across the country, long queues of Australians trying to access support.
It's like watching a horror movie on TV, except it doesn't finish in 90 minutes. It just goes on day after day.
There's no divide between city and country in this crisis.
We just need some help to get through this time.
Hours in a line doesn't seem like social distancing, but many don't have a choice and are accessing this safety net for the first time after losing work.
I'm a personal trainer, so I've been going from 30 sessions a week to 0 sessions a week. So basically I don't have any more income.
I run a cafe and at this current stage we're going to have to close our doors. I have rent to pay, I have bills.
When the clock struck midday, New South Wales switched over into its new way of life. Businesses forced to close in an effort to stop the spread of the virus.
That's pretty scary because I do have a mortgage, I do have a car loan as well, HECS to pay, everything, yeah.
But it's a tale of two sets of rules. Just next door, a hair salon not required to close. Shutdowns are happening in every suburb.
We've been here since 1978, and for people to be affected in this way is just absolutely unbelievable.
Even if businesses aren't forced to shut, a drop in demand means some will struggle. Hearts are weighing heavy.
I'm pretty devastated. It's been everything to get to this point.
Last drinks came and went at bars, even in the bush. And the only thing sadder than a pub with no beer is a pub with no patrons.
A pub's more than just a place to come and have a beer. I've got plenty of people that actually say to me it's much cheaper to come here and have a couple of beers than what it is to go to the psychiatrist.
So we purely trade on entertainment. We have no food, takeaway service, we have no bottle shop, so that's us.
Queensland has announced it's shutting its border. It's flagged exemptions for border communities, but there's still no detail.
It's very confusing because there are people which travel north and south, and when they get this message, they're going to say, well, what am I going to do tomorrow?
With the situation changing so quickly every day, lining up seems to be the only constant.
I've got older parents at home that no one allowed to get them out of the house, so we're doing the shopping for them.
And no one knows when things will return to normal. Jonathan Hare, ABC News, Sydney.
Well, as we've just seen, the rapid shutdown of many non-essential services has seen tens of thousands of people join the ranks of the unemployed, many for the first time in their working lives. It happened so fast that government computers and phone lines couldn't cope with the demand, adding to the shock and distress of people whose lives have changed in an instant. Here's political editor Andrew Probyn.
The first symptom of an economic pandemic.
I'm here because my job no longer exists.
It's not just lower class, middle class or high class. Everybody's getting affected by it.
thousands lining up outside Centrelink offices across the country.
You can feel it. Everyone's a little bit funny and on edge.
Everyone's anxious, no one knows what's going on.
Joining the job queue, many for the first time.
They are lining up at Centrelink offices as we speak. Something unimaginable at this scale only weeks ago.
Livelihoods extinguished by the coronavirus shutdown.
I'm at the stage now where I'm on the scrap heap because I'm 64 years old.
Anxieties heightened when they couldn't get help online.
MyGov has not been offline.
The minister wrongly insisting the website was operational, but overwhelmed by a malicious cyber attack, a claim he was forced to retract an hour later.
The DDoS alarms show no evidence of a specific attack today.
This wasn't a cyber attack, it was an incompetence attack.
The government has promised to boost capacity online and extend call centre hours to keep up with demand.
For many, young and old, 2020 will be the toughest year of our lives.
MPs gathered in reduced numbers, sanitised and spaced at a healthy distance to pass tens of billions of dollars in emergency measures, including income support. Younger Australians have long been told they're the lucky ones. Well, hardship has come knocking. The government expects the coronavirus crisis will see 1 million Australians lose their jobs over the next few months, more than doubling the unemployment rate to about 11%. And it's already banking on having to spend an extra $40 billion by August to further prop up the economy. A new normal has come suddenly.
Obviously, a lot of people throughout the whole of Australia are in the same boat as me. So just keep my chin up.
Andrew Probyn, ABC News, Canberra.
Now, it has been a particularly confusing day for parents and students in New South Wales, and many feel none the wiser tonight. The Premier Gladys Berejiklian told parents to pull their kids out of school if they could, or keep sending them to class if they had to. The directive is at odds with what the Prime Minister recommends, but the Premier says there's no contradiction.
A splintered message.
Children should go to school tomorrow.
We'll be encouraging parents to keep their children at home.
With the Premier's updated advice issued during this morning's school drop-off, leaving parents perplexed.
Well, I guess I'll be going upstairs and just checking and then possibly taking my child home.
What do you listen to? Should I listen to the principal here or the Premier or the Prime Minister? Who?
While schools will remain open, parents are now being urged not to send their children for the rest of the term.
What we're seeing is absolute confusion, and against that backdrop, what we will have is chaos in our schools.
The Premier says the reasons are pragmatic and not due to health concerns.
For teachers, it means one unit of teaching. There won't be a separate class for kids at home. There won't be a separate class for kids that are at school.
1 in 3 parents is already keeping their kids at home. For those that can't, schools will stay open for now.
Because at the moment I'm working at Woolies, so we need to be there for everyone else.
His dad works at RPA and I'm setting up phone lines for the coronavirus hotline, so we need him to go to school.
The move comes as New South Wales records the biggest 24-hour increase in new coronavirus cases. Of the new infections, one was at this childcare centre in Sydney's east, but it's unclear whether it was a worker or a child. According to the New South Wales government, parents shouldn't pull their young children out of childcare, but should keep their school-aged children at home. It's prompted the opposition to question why there's one set of rules for students, another for toddlers.
There must be a definite position, a clear, concise position from the Premier, and we're not getting that right now. Schools, TAFE colleges, childcare centres must close this week.
Schools are now contacting parents and students, letting them know how to access online lessons. Learning how to navigate the virtual world is the latest frontier in a fast-moving pandemic. Amy Greenbank, ABC News, Sydney.
So while schools throughout New South Wales remain open, Victoria has brought forward its Easter holidays, and in the ACT, schools are moving towards online classes from tomorrow. Schools in all other states and the Northern Territory will remain open. We're joined by the President of the Australian Primary Principals Association, Malcolm Elliott. Malcolm Elliott, thanks very much for talking to us this evening.
Good evening, Andrew.
So look, this is very confusing, not only for parents, students, but teachers also, I would imagine. Let's first look at that case of New South Wales. It is a conflicting message, isn't it, that The state recommends children stay at home. That's at odds with what the Prime Minister has to say.
Yes, well, they are different messages, and when those messages are so different, that does add to confusion. People are thinking to themselves, is my school open or not? And of course, this adds to the situation's complexity around the nation.
So how difficult is this for teachers at schools then?